Videos that can never be explained. A police body cam captures lady vanishing out of nowhere.
Hey, how's it going?
I was speeding, wasn't I?
Yeah, and you completely blew past that stop sign in front of me.
I did. I'm so sorry. I literally didn't even see it.
Alright, no
This
worries.
is my first time being pulled over.
Alright, can I see your driver's license registration, please?
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
Here's my license, but this is my mom's car, so
Where are you headed to where you're speeding and missing stop signs?
I was just headed to a friend's house. It's like literally right there. It's
Okay.
a birthday party. So,
Got it.
not mine, but
Any drugs or alcohol in the vehicle?
no, of course not.
Alright. Sit tight, Sarah. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Your registration is
Where did she
What
go?
the? Sarah? What the heck? Sarah? 3201 to dispatch. Hi.
These are videos you can never watch at night. We all know how there's some videos where you just can't watch them at night because they're that scary. Well, in this series, I'll be showing you all of those videos. So be ready to get terrified.
Who are you? Let me in. Huh? Please help me. What? What's wrong with you? It is me. Did what? It took my daughter.
Well, I know I'm not sleeping after watching that video. This video has been going viral recently and nobody knows the origins of it. It shows what appears to be a ghostly woman standing outside of some man's window at night. And she says something took her daughter and did this to her. But nobody knows what that is. The man who uploaded the video hasn't updated anybody on if he's seen her again, or if he's okay, leaving people to worry about him. But I can't imagine looking out my window at night and seeing this.
Now, this is just biological warfare. This 30-year-old woman in Ohio slept with more than 200 men while knowing she was HIV positive. This is literally a biological war crime. Her name is Linda Lassesi, and she was an SW. She had interactions with over 200 clients, and she has been aware of her HIV positive status since 2022. So it's not like she went into this with not knowing. She kind of did this on purpose. She has been arrested and she has been indicted. Reason being solicitation after a positive HIV test, which is a 3rd-degree felony, I believe. I mean, that is just absolutely terrifying. Your health is important. That's why you guys should get tested. That's why you guys should be open about asking people if they got tested as well. I wonder where in Ohio this happened. I mean, Ohio is kind of a big state. This is also a headline I kind of expected from Florida. What would you guys do in this situation if you found this out? Let me know in the comment section below. And as always, these videos are for informational and entertainment purposes only. I still cannot believe this is like a biological crime, and it's a headline.
An explorer filmed a mermaid to prove to everyone that they exist. Near the Fiji Islands lived Lana Ruadas, a young girl who grew up listening to her sailor father's stories. But at 22, after her father's death, Lana inherited his logbook, which recounted all the strange adventures he had experienced at sea. And right in the middle of the logbook, there was a map showing an unknown island in the Pacific Ocean. Without hesitation, Lana prepared her study stuff, took her father's boat, and started her journey with her dog. And it was after 25 days at sea that she arrived at the island. At first glance, the island seemed deserted, but as she walked, she stumbled upon ruins that led to an underground passage. But just before entering, her dog started to growl, as if it wanted to warn her of danger. She decided to venture in anyway. She went down the ladder, turned on her flashlight, and on the wall next to her, there was a message: "Flee before the siren's song." Before she could even climb back up the ladder, an enchanting melody began to resonate in the underground. Out of curiosity, she continued walking to the back of the underground, which opened to the ocean. And there, an incredible scene occurred. A mermaid was in the water right next to her, but thanks to her iPhone 16, Lana was able to film this creature. And the next victim of this mermaid will be the first person who appears when you click here, then on more, and on Snapchat.
This is the creepiest thing I have ever seen. That is a shark that has been sitting in formaldehyde for over 10 years. I just came across this Vice article, and it's from 2019, so maybe it's not even there anymore, but this is gonna live in my nightmares forever now. So this shark was sitting in an abandoned wildlife park. People had pried off the lid to it. They've thrown things into the tank. It's surrounded by all this clutter, and it was just hanging out in this shed. It was caught in 1998 off the South Australian coast and was meant to be preserved to be part of a museum. After a failed expansion project in the early 2000s, the center that had committed to preserving this great white fell apart, and they sold the land to an earthworm preserve. Then in 2003, the land was sold again, but there was still the shark in this tank. And then eventually, in 2012, the park shut down completely and they left the shark behind. Have you heard of this lore? Are you from Melbourne? Tell me if this is still there or not, because I'm gonna be here in my nightmares.
The tragic story of the real Chicken Little. In the late 1970s, in the small town of Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, there lived a 13-year-old boy named Tommy Hawk. It was just Tommy and his father, who affectionately called him Chicken Little. One night as Tommy stood in his backyard, he witnessed a saucer-like figure descending from the sky. Filled with excitement, he rushed to his father exclaiming, "The sky is falling!" Night after night, Tommy would witness these strange occurrences. But his father remained skeptical. Determined to uncover the truth, Tommy's father decided to camp out in the backyard with him. When within minutes they both saw the saucer-like figure, but this time it flew over them, and with a green beam of light it sucked Tommy's father into the saucer and quickly flew away. Tommy went to the local authorities. But instead of finding support, he was met with disbelief. The authorities accused him of foul play, and Tommy would be arrested and sentenced to 25 years in prison. For 22 long years, Tommy rotted behind bars, until one day he was taken out of his cell and led into a small room where he came face to face with the last person he expected. It was his father, and the craziest part was that his father looked exactly the same as when he last saw him 22 years prior.
I don't think anybody knows how many people died and were buried at Pennhurst. Most of the graves are unmarked.
Things got very overwhelmed to me. I was just crying with tears, and I cried because my mommy's gone, my daddy's gone. I will never see my sisters again, or my brother, or anybody again. I'm here for life. A friend of mine, he used to get me scared. He used to say, if you don't watch yourself here, they will write a little note and send you to a bad ward. They would put you in shackles and restraint jacket, and all this kind of stuff. And I said, Dad, come on, don't tell me that. He said, yep, that's what they'll do. If you don't listen, that's what they would do. He was right.
What we're trying to do is degrade him to a certain extent amongst his fellows here. They make fun of him then for a while afterwards, but I don't think there's anything inhumane about it or anything of that sort.
I had gonorrhea syphilis a couple times. They kept me on the hospital ward about 6 months.
Tonight, 8 p.m. EST, Penhurst Asylum.
During 8 decades of operation, between 1908 and 1987, Penhurst was known for its atrocious treatment of patients. They were tormented, belittled, and abused. They were forced to work with no wage, used as test subjects in eugenics. Over 10,000 disabled or unwanted kids and adults were tortured.
Now just wait a moment. Is it actually gonna be EST or are we talking MST here?
Bubba After Dark.
MST, it's definitely gonna be MST.
Like, comment, share. Don't forget to repost. Also, joining Bubba Paps at Paps3730. A huge thank you to last night's top supporters. Please give them a follow. Missy Gore 2, Carrie Butler Steinson, Xtina Halloween. See you tonight. Don't forget your tranquilizers.
These are murders everybody should know about, and this one is absolutely gut-turning. In 2007, the boy on the left named Gabriel Kuhn, who was 12 years old, was killed by a 16-year-old boy named Daniel Petrie, who was on the right. Daniel and Gabriel became good friends and began playing an online game called Tibia. And one point in the game, Gabriel asked Daniel for 20,000 virtual cash to clear the stage. Gabriel borrowed money from Daniel to use in the game, but refused to pay him back. Gabriel then blocked Daniel on everything, and this made Daniel absolutely furious. And he went to Gabriel's house to pay him a visit. A couple of days before the murder, Daniel called the home phone at Gabriel's house and his mother picked up. She explained that she would be out of town and that her son would be home alone if they wanted to play, completely unaware of the boys falling out. And on August 23rd, 2007, Daniel went to Gabriel's house and knocked on the door. Nobody answered and Daniel kept knocking, but eventually Gabriel started speaking to Daniel through the door. Daniel told Gabriel to unlock the door and let him in, and if he apologized to him, everything would be fine. Believing this, Gabriel unlocked the door and let Daniel in. And after entering the house, Daniel locked the door behind him and Daniel brutally assaulted Gabriel. Gabriel tried his best to defend himself, but he failed to do so. Daniel was older, bigger, and stronger. Gabriel was dripping in blood after being brutally beaten by Daniel. Daniel then laughed at the terrified Gabriel and took him to the bedroom, where he then sexually assaulted him. Gabriel cried, but this made Daniel even more cruel. After all of this, Gabriel threatened Daniel, saying he would tell his mother everything that happened, but this only made Daniel even more mad. And in a fit of rage, Daniel took a cord from a gaming console and wrapped it around Gabriel's neck and strangled him with it until his body went limp. Daniel assumed Gabriel was dead, and believing this, Daniel tried to move and hide the body in the crawl space leading to the bedrooms. However, the body was way too heavy, and after realizing this, Daniel searched the house for sharp tools, and he eventually found a kitchen knife and a hacksaw. Daniel then returned to Gabriel's body, and in order to make it lighter, he took the knife and hacksaw and began cutting at the top of Gabriel's leg to remove it. And as Daniel cut into Gabriel's leg, he woke up. Gabriel wasn't dead. He let out a blood-curdling scream, but Daniel restrained him, making sure to twist and turn the blade to make it even more painful. Eventually, Daniel dismembered his right leg and moved to his left. And after severing both of his legs, Gabriel sadly passed away. His autopsy suggested that he was still alive throughout the whole ordeal, and he eventually died from shock and blood loss. After Daniel finished the dismemberment, he tried to hide the body again, and he wrapped a cable and wire around Gabriel's body. But the body was still too heavy, and Daniel fled the scene. Gabriel's body was discovered by his brother, and the body was left next to the hallway door as well as the legs and hacksaw. Daniel Petrie was admitted to a juvenile center in September 2007 to only 3 years. This is due to Brazil's laws of sentencing minors. And to make you realize how evil Daniel actually was, when the judge asked him if he had any final words of remorse, Daniel said this: "Gabriel was a coward and a thief. He burns in hell right now where I sent him. And when I die, I will find him in hell and finish my revenge." It's also worth saying that the photos of the crime scene and Gabriel's body have surfaced on the internet, and nobody knows for sure how they got there. I highly recommend not to look at them due to the graphic nature of them, as well as they will be some of the worst crime scene photos you will ever see. It's honestly insane how Daniel is walking free today, and may Gabriel rest in peace. This case is just awful.